Hello everybody, this is Dro. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Redstone tutorial series, and today's topic will be the second and last part of logic gates. That's right, after we have taken a look at those two and this one in the back there, we are done with the logic gates. So let's have a quick recap what we did last episode. We learned that a logic gate is something that takes a constant input and does something with that, does a logical operation with that basically, and then gives a constant output. So we have learned we have a NOT gate, which is just a torch. We have an OR gate, which has two inputs and is called OR gate because either one of the inputs can be on or both in order for the output to be on. We have a NOT OR gate, or short a NOR gate, which is just the inversion of that, so the output is off if either one or both of the inputs are on. Then we have an A implies B gate. You can also do it the other way around, as B implies A if you invert this input instead of this one. This one's not really important, I have said, and I'll show you why in a moment when we talk about the next one. This is on all the time except if A is on and B is not on. Then again an inversion of that, so it's only on if A is on and B is not, and I'm not really sure about the name. I guess it is A does not imply B, but I'm not really sure about that. So, this episode we're gonna take a look at two more gates, so let's take a look at this one. We have a gate that is always on except if both inputs are on, then it's off. And the truth table for this gate looks like this. It's only off if both are on. And if you remember what we did here, which is truth table is this one, then you should be able to do that in no time. If you didn't, then I'll give you another hint right now. We can think of it as it is on if A is not on and B is not on, right? So I want you to build this one and then build its inversion, and then I'll see you back here. So I guess you have done it by now, so I don't really need to explain anything, I guess. It's just both inputs inverted. Oh. And then connected to an OR gate. And this does exactly what we want. Now, I'm gonna show you what that is called in a moment. Let's build its inversion, which is very similar, just with an inversion at the end. Now, what you may see here is it's only on if both inputs are on. So when A and B are on, the output is on. That means we have an AND gate, and that is probably the most important gate there is. And analogically, this is called a NOT AND gate, or short, a NAND gate. But what can we actually use that for? Well, we can use it for sort of a combination lock. What I did here is just I have three inputs and just inverted every single one of them and run that into another inversion, just like an AND gate with 2, but just with 3 now, basically. So we can have a combination log. Well, this combination is quite lame, isn't it? So what we can do is we can also do something like that, where we just don't invert one input. So what this is basically, if you think about it, we have an AND gate, and that connected to an not implies gate, to this one over here. So you can think of the not implies gate just as an AND gate where just one input is not inverted. And then that leaves us with one gate less to remember, right? And also you can think of the implies gate as an OR gate where just one input is inverted. So that leaves us with another one logic gate less to whatever, you get what I mean. So that means all we have to remember until this point is how we make an OR gate. That's quite simple, and its inversion. And how we make an AND gate and its inversion, right? So let's take a look at the final logic gate. This one is quite weird to build, and it's not used very often, but it has a very interesting property. And that is, whenever an input changes, the output changes as well. Or in other words, whenever exactly one input is on and exactly one is off, then the output is on. And when they're both the same, the output is off. Now this leads to a truth table that looks like this. And if you want to try it like this, I tell you right away, it won't work. So we need to do something else. Now the idea is to take two logic gates and sort of merge them together. So how's this going to work? Well, you basically take the inputs to two different gates, and then you take the output of these logic gates and move that or bring that into another logic gate, and there's your output. But how do we know which logic gates to place here? And this is quite hard to do, so I hope I'm doing a good job at explaining. And there are also several ways to do it. So by that I mean we can pick one logic gate, and then the other two are pretty much determined. You can have small variations in that, but pretty much determined. So let's pick one that is very close to this one. And this, let's go with this one. That's a B, does not imply A, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So it's basically a not OR gate where B is inverted. Now we need to think, we want to have this one green. So the simplest thing we could do is just take another logic gate where this one is green. And now we need to think we need to think of the actual connection between those two. So the basic connections we have are OR and AND. So let's try OR. What I mean by this is, when this is on, like it is now, or this is on, like it is not, then this one is on. Because this one's on, this one down here will be on as well in the end. So we could use an OR connection between those. I mean, we could use an OR gate here then, if we take these two. But we don't know the rest here. So in order for that to be off, we need both others to be off. So we know this one needs to be off, and this one as well, because it's an OR gate. Because if it was on, then it would be on in the end as well, because we are using an OR connection, right? I'm going to do another example in a minute, so it is maybe a bit clearer. And now this one doesn't really matter because it's determined by this one already, that it's on. So if we place this one, yeah, that's this one. So let's place a red one. So that means we can make this gate by creating a B does not imply A gate, and an A does not imply B gate, and connecting this with an OR gate. So that means one of these has to be this one, the other one has to be this one, and this one has to be an OR gate. So if you can build that, then pause the video and go ahead. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, I'm gonna do another example. So let's go with an OR gate. So an OR gate, it looks like this. When A is on or B is on, it's on. And this one has to be red. So let's place a red one here. And let's see. So if we have an OR connection between those, then that would mean off or on. Because one is on, it would be on. So this would be green. So we can't go with an OR connection. So let's try an AND connection. If it's off and on, in an AND gate, it's off. And that it's off. Very good. So we can place an AND gate there. And that means we have to have a green one here, because green only on and on is on. And again here, on and on is on. And this one right here, if we put a red one here, it's the same as there. So we just put a green one there and we have an not AND gate. So what we have right now is an OR gate on this one, for example, a not AND gate on this one, and an AND gate here. So I hope this made somewhat sense to you. I want you to build one of these now. So I'm going to say again what we had. We had an OR gate and an not AND gate, and that connected by an AND gate. So I want you to build that. Just a quick thing. I would put repeaters here before the gates, because else it could mess up a bit. And why you'll see in a moment. But now I want you to build it, and I'll see you back in a bit. So the solution is, as I said, an OR gate, a not AND gate, and an AND gate. So this works just fine, with a little bit of delay, but that happens, and it is not really important. Now, what would happen if you replace this repeater, because this one's a crucial one. You can test for yourself. But let me give you the name of that. That is called exclusive OR or XOR. And similarly, the inversion of that you could do that with just knocking off this torch and place a redstone dust there. The inversion of that would be XNOR. So uses for that are, this one is a XNOR gate. It's much more compact, but well, not really. It's quite big still. And so this looks sort of similar to an OR gate, but you can also do something like this, which you couldn't do with OR gates before, because it would just stay open if one would be powered. Yeah, so it wouldn't make sense to give you a design for that, because it is just very rarely used. You can just look one up if you need one, and it's also it's quite hard to memorize. Like if I build just this and there are some OR gates in between and some AND gates and NOR gates and something like that, and it doesn't make much sense. So my home assignment for you is to take a look at the OR gates again, at the NOR gates, AND gates, and not AND gates, and build them a few times, and that is all. So thank you very much for watching. Please give a like if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and give me feedback on how I did the XOR thing, because I'm really curious. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.